Welcome to another Splatoon 2 video on the channel. I'd just like to welcome everybody that has recently subbed to the channel ever since the direct went live last week. Really do appreciate your support. But let's just get on with this video just because pretty much the Japanese Splatoon Twitter account are now giving out details for the Octo expansion DLC, and this seems to be a daily thing. So unfortunately I did miss out on yesterday's details, so what we'll be doing in this video is rounding up all of yesterday's details, but the Japanese Twitter account have also tweeted out some more details today, so in my next video I will be rounding up the details that they did give out today, and hopefully this will be a daily thing, and hopefully I will have the time to be able to cover all of the details that the Japanese Splatoon Twitter account gives out each day. Hopefully I will have the time to cover it the same day, but if not, it will be like this where we'll do it the next day. But pretty much let's just get on with what the Japanese Twitter account had to say. Now what I will be talking about, they are loose translations, so these translations, they could be wrong, but I think we do have the gist of what the Japanese Splatoon Twitter account is actually saying. Hopefully Nintendo Treehouse or Nintendo of America, normally it is Nintendo of America who gives out translations of what the Japanese Splatoon account gives out, like officially. Obviously you got fans, and you got Google Translate, and Twitter does their own translation as well. But in terms of an official translation, then I think they will give it out on their Tumblr page, but it always seems to take a while for Nintendo of America to actually translate what the Japanese Twitter account had to say. But anyway, I'm just rambling on at this point. You guys, you want to hear the details, so let's just get on with it. So as Agent 8, you will get support from both Pearl and Marina, and they will allow you to skip a stage to get to the story bits, like the cutscenes. They will allow you to skip a stage. Now I've got two questions surrounding this. Is there a limit to it, or could you just skip the whole DLC? I'm not sure why you would want to do that, just because obviously you are wasting your own money. I certainly will not be skipping a stage. I probably will just skip one stage just to show it off on the channel, but apart from that I will be playing all 80 levels myself, just because I paid for the DLC and I want to play this single player content. I think this sort of thing, it's not really for me. It's for the people that do struggle at playing stuff. Maybe this is for like the very young children, so that's just who I see this being aimed at. But I've got another question as well. Will we actually see both Pearl and Marina actually play out the stage, or will it just be a case where, right, you skip a stage and you get to the next level and that is it? It's just a case of pressing the button and then you move from level 1 to level 2, or if you're on level 3 you move to level 4, or level 5 to level 6, and so on and so forth, and you won't actually get to see Pearl and Marina actually do the stage themselves. It would be really cool if we saw like a sped up video of Pearl and Marina actually doing the stage for you. I just think that would be really cool. I would love to see Pearl and Marina in new environments, in new settings, and in new gameplay that we haven't really seen them in before. So I would definitely love it if when you do skip a stage you actually do get to see both Pearl and Marina actually do it. I could see like Pearl saying something like, I ain't doing this stage for you unless you pay me like 10,000 coins or something like that. I ain't getting out of bed for nothing. I could see Pearl saying something like that if that was the case. So I'm hoping that it's not just a case of, right, you're skipping the stage and you move to the next level. I'm hoping that you do actually see Pearl and Marina complete the stage for you. Now skipping levels will not affect you actually unlocking the Octo link from the multiplayer. So yeah, it's just a little bit interesting how you can actually skip a level. Does this suggest that the Octo expansion DLC is actually quite hard and you might actually need this skipping feature? It's going to be interesting to see how many times you can actually do this, because I'm sure some people will just skip the whole DLC just to play as the Octo link in the multiplayer, but I definitely will not be doing that myself. So it does seem that Pearl and Marina will play the same roles as both Callie and Marie in the first single player in Splatoon 1 on the Wii U and Marie in the single player in Splatoon 2. They do seem to be like talking to you constantly. They do seem to be playing that same role in the Octo expansion DLC. Of course, we probably will see cutscenes between the two. That is definitely something which I am hoping for in this DLC, but it does seem like Pearl and Marina will be both support characters in the Octo expansion DLC. But will we learn more about Pearl and Marina in this Octo expansion DLC? Will we learn more about their friendship just because the official description on the eShop lists the following? Expect new stories to unfold, shedding new light on beloved characters. So I'm hoping that we will learn more about Pearl and Marina. I'm hoping they will get a heavy focus in this Octo expansion DLC. I think they will, just because I think they are Agent 5 and Agent 6. So I'm hoping that we will get to see them a lot in the Octo expansion DLC. And I think we will, just because obviously they were shown in the trailer. Now, the Japanese Splatoon Twitter account mentions more than 80 levels. This is different to what we had in the Direct, where they said that the Octo expansion DLC will contain 80 missions. So, you know, which is right? Is it the Japanese Splatoon account or is it the Direct? Maybe it is like a combination of the two. Maybe there is 80 levels on their own, but maybe there is more than 80 levels when you do take into account boss levels. So it will be interesting to see what is happening with the amount of levels. I think 80 missions is more than enough, but if we get more, then yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic. The Octoling and the Inkling will have no gameplay differences in the multiplayer, so they will perform the same. So you won't get an advantage picking an Inkling over an Octoling, or vice versa, picking an Octoling over the Inkling. They have the same stats, the same abilities. They will perform the same in the multiplayer, and also gear will work across both characters. Now, it does sound like you need to beat the Octo expansion DLC to unlock the Octoling, just because the Japanese Splatoon account mentions that when you do clear the Octo expansion DLC, you will have the option of choosing between an Octoling and Inkling when going into the multiplayer. So it does sound like that you need to beat the 80 missions in the Octo expansion DLC to play as an Octoling in the multiplayer. So that concludes everything that we learned about yesterday. I'm glad that I did split up yesterday's details and today's details into two separate videos. Otherwise this video would go on for quite a while. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about everything that I've talked about in the comment section below. I really can't wait for this Octo expansion DLC. What I am thinking about doing actually is like making a video talking about the lore behind the Octo expansion DLC and all of the unanswered questions that we do have surrounding the lore behind the Octo expansion DLC. I think I might make a video focusing on that, but I'm not sure whether you guys will want to watch it or not. So what I want you to do in the comment section is, if that sounds interesting to you, put Wume. If not, put NGYES. I can't pronounce it. My pronunciation is worst at the best of times when talking proper English, let alone talking like Inkling language. There's no way I'll be able to pronounce that myself. So if you want to see that video, put Wume. If not, put NGYES. But it's something which I am currently researching myself. Just like as a fan, I definitely like to read, you know, some of the theories knocking about in terms of the lore behind the Octo expansion DLC. So maybe I could make a video focusing on the unanswered questions and some of the theories currently knocking about in terms of, you know, those theories and what people have to say in terms of answering those unanswered questions. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing this every day, hopefully. So yeah, really can't wait for this Octo expansion DLC. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and the next video will be coming out pretty much soon after, where I do talk more about the Octo expansion DLC. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I will see you next time, hopefully.